Hello, friends. I was thinking that now that the Blender Blast Series 101 is winding down, I might give you a few hints that we haven't covered in the classroom. So here we go. Let's look at these 7 plus 1 bonus, and this might help you get just that further down the road. Here we have the control right mouse button. If you remember, we can pull this tool open, but if we go to extrude to cursor, we can use that tool. But good to know that we have a hotkey that'll do just the same thing. So we'll select this cube, look at it on the front view. So we can select this, go to edit, go to 3, highlight and select this top face, which will extrude. Go to the number 1, press Control and right click. And that extrudes to your cursor. It may be helpful to you in some ways when you're working on a complex project. It helps to go into one of the axis views because it'll do it in a straight. It'll go along the axis. Here we'll select this one. We'll go to a side view, Control, and click. Right click. And that aligns with the side axis, or it aligns with the Y axis. So that's the Control right click hotkey. Another helpful shortcut key is when you want to look at a variety of views in one screen. That would be Control Alt Q. Control Alt Q, and it'll give you this. Control Alt Q. It gives you this configuration. Here you can see the top view, the front view, and the right view all in one screen. And if you press Control Space, that'll enlarge the entire screen. And on any of these views, while they're showing here, any of these views, you can select any of the items. So I'll select this little puck here, and it's selected on all of the views. Here's the 3/4 view. So you can press this sphere, and all of the spheres get highlighted. Control Alt Q. Now we can go into the Shift R. That repeats your last operation. So if you took this cone and you duplicated it over here, just this far, Shift R will repeat that very last operation. Control Z will get us back. That's helpful sometimes when you don't want to go to the array and set up the array function, and you just want to do a quick repeat. So we duplicate this, pull it down here, Well, let's push it up because it's going to go under the floor. So now Shift R, and it just repeats the last operation. So that's Shift R. The Z key, when it's pressed by itself, is a very helpful, quick way to get into different views. So let's go to this view right here, which is the which is the material review. But if you press Z, you get this pie menu. For some reason, Blender is being a little quirky today, and the Z menu is not working. But typically, when it does work, you go to Z, this menu comes up, and you can go to those views automatically. So that's the Z key. Press right click to dismiss it. When you have several things highlighted and you want the opposite of the items selected, say we'll select this, we'll select this, and we'll select this. But for some reason, you want to highlight everything else that is not highlighted. So you inverse the highlight. It is Control I. That way, all the other things in that object or on your view will be highlighted. And you can do that Control I back and forth. It's a switch that'll switch you back to your original selection, but then it'll go to Control I will go to everything else that's not selected. That's helpful sometimes, especially when you get into complicated projects. This one is a little tricky, but it's the Shift number pad 7. What that does, let's select this cylinder, go into edit mode, and select the top face. Now, if you Shift 7, that goes and puts the camera in the view directly in front or 90 degrees to the normal of this surface. That can be done on several items. Let's select this item, Shift 7. That's 7 on the number pad. It goes directly 90 degrees away from that surface. Shift 7. We're looking straight into that face. That's helpful sometimes when you have something like this arrangement. You have this cube that is kind of misaligned, and let's say you want to square that up. You want this surface to be parallel to this surface. So we'll select that, Shift 7. Now you can go to the object mode, and you can rotate this in a way. Well, let's put the origin to the original geometry. Set origin to geometry. Okay, now it's in the center. Now we can rotate this. We're looking at it in the z-axis, so it's only rotating the z-axis. But you can call out the axis you want it to rotate on. So R, X. So you can line it up this way. R, Y. Now you can line it up this way. And so the end result is pretty much this is fairly closely parallel to this. It can use a little bit more fine tuning. The next hotkey is is a shortcut that is very simple. Shift right click, put your 3D cursor wherever you click. Shift right click, and that places the 3D cursor. When you want it into the center of the world, into the X and the Y and the Z axis, so on the middle of the 3 axis, you do a Shift C, but you just zoom right back in, and you can be assured that that's on the center of the world. Z, X, and the Y. That's Shift C. Now the bonus, and this is a pretty neat bonus that I thought I'd show you. It gives this bend using the spin tool. We get this type of bend on pipes or wires or railing, anything that you need a bend in. And we'll do that now. So we'll, okay, now Shift A, we're going to add a cylinder. Okay. Scale it down with the S key. I'm going to scale it on the Z, make it a little longer like a pipe. And G, Z to grab it up, pull it up. Now, we want to go to 1, focus on this. So what you want to do now is you want to go into edit mode. You want to select where you want the bend to start happening. You go to the spin tool, which is this tool right down here. You see it? Okay. When that is selected, you have these options up here. The steps is the number of divisions that you want the bend to take. Like this is, I think, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, this one looks like it. No, it started here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, this was a 6 segment. It happened on the Y, so that means it's rotating on the Y axis, which is this way. Okay, and that's the way, when you're looking in the front view, that's the way this is oriented. The bend will go this way, and that's on the Y axis. So we need to pull over here, we need to show the gizmos. Okay, so when you select that, after you've selected the face that you want to spin, the cursor placement tool right up here, and you place right here, you place that. Okay, and you get this little help right here. Now it's on the Z axis because it's going to spin it around this face, and that's not what we want. We want the Y axis, which brings it up here. Now you grab one of these and you start to spin. Now I've changed it to 12 segments, so it produces 12 segments. If you press the control while you're doing it, it sets up this little scale that'll allow you to go in increments, and you can set it at 90 and let go. Now that we still have this surface identified, we can do the extrude and come straight out. And there we have it. We have your bend. Okay? Play with that a bit, and that will help you. If I repeated that down here on this side, we could have a handle. All we would need to do is maybe extrude this in a scale version and go kind of like this, and then extrude this, put a little flange on it, and now you have the makings of a handle or a cabinet pull. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed those tips. Those were little tips that we didn't get to in the class, but I thought they might be helpful in your future work. So take care, and I'll see you in the next class.